Good evening. This is my weekly check-in, and the tonight topics I thought I'm gonna bring up. Let's see, I haven't really fully prepared for this. First thing is YouTube. How are we rating here with our viewers and views and likes we're getting or not getting on this channel, and how YouTube actually operates and works. Next thing is my experiment on Instagram and why I canceled my accounts on Instagram and Facebook. And then thirdly, the Catholic Day, der Katholikentag in Germany, in Stuttgart, and Olaf Scholz visiting his preferred customer base, so to speak, and why the Ukraine is not really getting any weapons out of Germany. And then last but not least, words from the Department of Defense here in the United States in reference to their howitzers, their 155 millimeter howitzers, and how that's coming along with ammunition and the supply over there. And then we may have some minutes to talk about something else. But let's start with the YouTube. You may have seen I'm not getting a lot of views on these videos, and this has primarily to do with the likes I'm getting or not getting. And the other thing is the topics I'm discussing, which is not easily promotable and cannot be easily married by YouTube to advertisement, because that is really the subjects we're here discussing are not really in tune with the regular advertising, they're usually putting out or trying for you as viewer to watch before or during these videos, that kind of stuff. I'm not getting paid because I don't have 1,000 subscribers at this point. So for me, the advertising you're watching this, if you don't have YouTube Premium, is primarily for YouTube to get paid, because I'm putting content up basically for free. And the primary reason why I'm doing this to hopefully provide some people who are interested in it with my assessments, opinions, as neutral as possible about the entire ongoing issue we have there in the Ukraine with the war or the special military operations. Which brings me now, I hope that explained the YouTube lack of it. So is more, if when you watch it and you like it, is more impressions YouTube will put up, and the impressions are usually, what they mean by that is the video is going to be then listed as recommended video when someone else searches a topic, or when they're just cruising, or when they're, just have finished a video with a similar topic, and that would suggest this then as another video. This is what they refer to as impressions, and the impression rate starts to increase, which doesn't mean you're going to get views. It is just more viewers. It will be shown or suggested to more viewers to possibly watch the video. And a lot of times what happens with those viewers is they start watching it and they drop out within the first minute or so because they were expecting something else. That's why I'm trying to be as accurate as I can with the description and, with the heading of the video too. So I don't want to mislead someone who starts then watching the video just for it to drop out because they don't want to listen to this, what I'm offering here or what I'm saying, but they're more interested in being entertained. This is really not an entertainment channel, and YouTube and all of the other social media platforms are, of course, geared towards entertainment rather than information and education for the better part. Now, with that being said, is, like I said, is that the issue is twofold. One is advertisability. So if my topics don't match any advertising, paid advertising they have at YouTube, then they don't want to promote the video too much, or they may not have any advertising at all, so you're going to fall into the bottom of the category to begin with. All of this then is done automatically by the algorithms they use to calculate rankings and placings of these videos in these suggested feeds, basically, for other YouTube videos. On my other channel, where I deal with my car and how I repair my car, I did this on purpose, that channel. It was really because I couldn't find any videos on how to fix something on that particular make and model I got. And so I started putting this up, and I put all the videos up what no one else had or what was not available. And interestingly enough, I get most of the channel views, or the videos are being viewed by all these different, subjects I have there of fixing the engine, the, fuel system, or what have you, by Google. People Google this, and then they get the link to the video through the Google search engine, because they put that in there and they wind up then in the channel. So that's why my other channel usually gets a lot more views, but it is, again, very, very specific of the nature of the video, so it's not very advertisable. It's not very advertisable friendly or advertising friendly, because it is so specific. But I have a worldwide audience, and I have a lot of followers. I'm close to 1,000 followers over on the other channel, because they appreciate this, what I did there. And I hope one day this will happen here with this video too. The money is not really a issue for me, because I'm not a content producer for the purpose of making money or reaching this. It is more important for me that I'm trying to reach a broader base of people who are hopefully interested in it. That's probably the best way of putting it. Now, the other thing is with Facebook and Instagram. I dropped out of Facebook in 2017, and there were developments in Facebook, with the way they did this with the advertisement there too, on how they started advertising, how they were using personal data, how they were actually looking at what I was looking at as a Facebook user, and then they were customizing the advertising to that extent, and so far and so on. And so I got rid of Facebook back in 2017. I haven't missed it at all. The interesting thing is, out of all the friends I had on Facebook, where, say, like 70% were people I know in real life, actually only 2 people noticed that I had closed down or I had disappeared from Facebook. Out of like 600 friends I had, only 2 people actually asked me about it. They said, "What happened to your Facebook account?" That shows you on how little people really care on Facebook. This whole social media stuff is not really social as being sociable. Like, if you meet people in real life and you have real friends you can count on and interchange yourself and that sort of stuff. It's a make-believe world which has really not done anything for us, except that it has been a money and fundraising platform, and support whatever I'm doing and that sort of stuff. And that's okay too, but that shouldn't be called a social media. Then it's a donation media or fund me media, that kind of a deal. Now, on Instagram, I stayed longer there, and that had a reason, is because I dated a gal from Oklahoma from 2016 on until 2019. And unfortunately, she passed away. And she has a daughter who just started to go to college down in Oklahoma City in the middle, or it was with the summer semester of 2019, 2 months or 3 months before my girlfriend basically passed away. And that was a very sad story. So I had been supporting her, with the school stuff and everything else, and we're going forwards and backwards. That was important to me, and I know that my girlfriend would have liked that too, with the support, whatever I can do, to support her. And so we're pretty good friends. And we're communicating now mostly by texting, regular SMS, not anymore to social. But she is on Instagram. So I was on there because she felt first more comfortable a couple, 3 years ago, talking to me through Instagram. And I said, okay. So then I did a test. I had only 3 or 4 followers on there. I'm not a social media person. And then I did a test. I wanted to see on how Instagram actually rates pictures of what you post and how fast they actually respond to a posting if it is what they consider inappropriate or not community friendly. So what I did is I used a picture of a lady who was not fully dressed, to put it that way, and I uploaded it into my storyline on Instagram. And it took only about 3 or 4 seconds, and I was locked out of Instagram, and I had to log in again. And then I got the moral preaching from Instagram that was inappropriate and that was content which is not tolerated. It was only the upper part of the lady which was visible with the head, and that was all too much for them. And what I realized is that they actually, once the picture's uploaded, that they're analyzing the pictures for content, actually, what is uploaded, where you don't have to write even a thing. And I said, this is going too far for me. This is just it. So on one hand is you can post extremist opinions, whether right or left or whatever it is. And in case with the school shooting down there and the other shooting we had, is these people actually posted this live online and no one interfered, no one called the cops and nothing. But yet when you have an erotic picture where you don't even have anything, of a deep pornographic nature in it, then they shut you down immediately. And I said, this whole Instagram, Facebook crowd who is in control of this has gone off the deep end. And so I decided to close that channel down, so my Instagram, since it was of no relevance. And I'm not on TikTok either because I think this is just too flat what people are portraying there. This is just, entertainment primarily. People's mishap or whatever cute they think they are and all of this stuff that's not necessarily my cup of tea to participate in it. And I'm not on Snap or any of the other things. I'm too old for that kind of stuff. I just want to mention this. So there is a inherent danger there on how these platforms actually evaluate the content and the community guidelines they have, that they're very distorted, that hate speech or extremist content is okay, but erotic is not okay. In our castles, what we had paintings and mannequins, made out of marble or limestone. They were bare-breasted, And this is something I've grown up with, and I have no problems with it. I like to see beautiful women, And if they have that kind of an opinion towards that kind of stuff, but yet they are happy to accommodate people who wind up then killing people in schools and other places and stuff like this, I do not want to participate or affiliate with these people. I just think that this is extremely dangerous for our society. That's my personal opinion. Now, with that being said, is our favorite chancellor over there, Olaf Scholz, actually made it to Stuttgart the last couple of days. They have an annual day the Catholics have. They call it their Katholikentag. And if you go to their website, they will say, even on the English version of it, Katholikentag. They don't say it's the Catholic Day, which would that, translate to a days of the Catholics. He went there and he went through all the different workshops. And that is his kind of comfort zone to meet with nannies and people of faith, and where there's no war discussion there, or where people are afraid of war, where people don't want to send weapons anywhere. They don't want. They really did. They're total pacifists, basically, and I don't know how this is actually how they think they would survive in this world, but this is where these people are. That's their belief, and that's okay. They can have that belief, but they should not be running a country and putting other people at jeopardy. That's my opinion. And with that, we're looking at this. So these people are asking now Olaf Scholz in that little open forum. They had there like a town hall format of if he's going to be, if they really need more weapons in the Ukraine, if Germany needs more weapons because he wants to spend another 100 billion on the German Bundeswehr to update the equipment. And he told them yes, so he was kind of firm there. But then the whole thing came then down to the point that basically what these people are telling us from the Catholic community is that they do not want to send their in solidarity with the Ukrainians, but yet they don't want to send any weapons to the Ukraine whatsoever to prolong the war. So that is a lot to digest right there and then. And then you have to really think, well, I thought, if these people really are serious, they're in solidarity, and they don't want to, that's what Scholz told them, he didn't want to become to support them in their belief. He didn't want to become a party to a war. Then, because Russia would look at Germany then if they did deliver weapons and heavy artillery and heavy equipment and that sort of stuff as a participant in the war. Well, first of all, the Russians are not calling it a war to begin with. It's a special military operation. So if anything is, then Germany would become a party in this special military operation, which is not a war, because you can't say war in Russia at the moment because they're not saying it's a war. So with that being said, there is no war. Hence, you cannot become a war participant or party in a war, so to speak. It's technically impossible, so there should be no reprisal actions from the Russians as a result out of this, because there's no war in the first place. The only thing Germany would do is start interfering in a special military operation. That is the logical consequence out of this. That's just the reality. So his argument is he doesn't want to become a participant in the war by delivering heavy weapons. Well, he wouldn't, because there is no war in the first place. He would become a participant in a special military operation. So there is no war. End of the story. So that's how easily you can argue this argument. So you can see that they actually don't want to do anything whatsoever. These people are pacifists, absolute pacifists. And Olaf Scholz proved this beyond any doubt just 2 days ago at the Catholic Day over there in Stuttgart. This, and now the solidarity in this, what solidarities are going to be, that we're not going to send, Germany's not going to send any weapons, and they're going to let the Russians take the Ukraine. And in solidarity, we're going to tell Putin then to come into Germany with a special military operation. What is the logic in this? I guess there is no logic, because it is religious. And religion has very little to do with logic to begin with. They're the anti-forces here, so to speak, I hope I'm not going to be labeled an antichrist or something like this, but I'm a military person, so you think differently. You look at the reality of things. This is removed from reality as far as it can be removed from reality. And with this in mind, so this is basically where this is stuck with the support. So I don't know if there is anything going to come or not. It looks at this point from Olaf Scholz and the direct people in the Social Democratic Party over in Germany is that they're incapable of overcoming their pacifism and actually do active support, because these people he visited at the Catholic Day are a big part of their electorate. These are the people who vote for people like Olaf Scholz because he is a pacifist. They will vote for something pacifist first before they vote for anything else. Whether the Russians are going to take over Germany one day and then may outlaw the Catholic Church altogether, or they may wind up God knows where else because the Russian Orthodox Church is going to take over then the Catholic Church. I don't know. These people probably haven't thought about these kind of possibilities. That is what it looks like to me. That gets me now to the next point. Is the Department of Defense here has been posting a lot of pictures via Twitter of Charlie 17's Globemasters. I think that's what they're called. The C-17 transport planes we're using. And they have brought over 80 of the 100 howitzers, 155 millimeter howitzers, to the Ukraine. They have reached the Ukraine. 80 of them are in battle, according to the Department of Defense at this point already. And there is constantly C-117's Globetrotter or Globemaster. I think Globemaster, something like this. They have, that's their nickname for that thing. Officially, it's a Charlie 17 aircraft transport carrier, turboprop. And so they're flying ammunition over for those a lot. There's a lot of air traffic going on. So this stuff must be getting to one of the front lines, and the Ukrainians have not shared this on their social media platforms or on Twitter or what have you, that they're being used or where they're being employed. It could be for tactical reasons that they don't want the Russians to know that where they are. They don't want to give the locations away because they're probably pretty important pieces of equipment. The other thing is I think the M117, 177s, the tanks, these armored vehicles, they're being flown over there too by the hundreds. So these armored vehicles, they should be arriving very shortly on the battlefield. This is what I do know. So there's a lot of transport movement, airplanes leaving here the United States, probably flying into the Western Allies, Poland, Czech Republic, Slovak Republic, Romania. Those countries where they're flying into and offloading the equipment and then returning and picking up more. And the military, the U.S. military here in the National Guards are preparing these vehicles, which we had in storage here, which are being shipped over there. So there's a lot of stuff going on, and that is already moving. And they're not even bothering putting that on a ship. They're actually flying them over, which is a quite expensive undertaking, getting all that equipment over and ammunition. So this is an ongoing thing here. And for whatever reason, I guess for, not necessarily classified, but, for tactical reasons, the Ukrainian army or high commander or the soldiers even involved in it have not released any pictures of those, systems being used on the battlefield. But according to the DoD, a lot of the stuff is over there. Out of the 100 howitzers, 80 are in the Ukraine and are used on the battlefield. So the other 20 are probably going to be on their way here, or they're already there. They may be in one of the neighboring countries or going to be ready to get deployed over there. So that's all taking place here. I have no reason not to believe this. I work with the U.S. military here. Whatever I have been told over the years was always 100% accurate. There was nothing in there, and they have no reason for propaganda, if it wasn't true. They have the concern here is to get the military operation dismembered over there from the Russian Federation, to put it that way. So that basically was the topics we wanted to talk about tonight. And I wanted to mention one thing is I ran a short community post on my other channel because on my other channel we were able to get the community postings at 500 subscribers. Now YouTube changed it. Now you have to have 1,000 subscribers before you can actually do a community post. That's why I can do them here on this channel, and I usually do it on my other channel to make other viewers aware of what I'm posting here. So, but on this case, I posted I made a post with a little poll on it to see how people feel on YouTube of watching content provided by Russian YouTubers in Russia, which make English-speaking content. Whether, you have probably seen the videos, supermarkets after day X of sanctions, and this after sanctions, and the other thing after sanctions, and so far and so on. And so far I've gotten only 5 votes because I just posted it about an hour ago. But 4 out of the 5 posts said, no, we're not going to watch them. And one person said, yeah, I'm going to watch them, even though it sort of circumvents the sanctions, because YouTube is still paying these YouTubers, which they should if they're entitled to it, in Russia. But on the other hand, as I say, if I dislike it, then I cannot watch that and don't support it, so they don't get any ad revenue, at least from me viewing it. And that was the consensus. So it is 20% yes, 80% no, we're not going to watch it at this point. And the interesting thing is this: most of the US viewers who view this is a very interesting mix of people. I looked at this. Who do Russian YouTubers actually interest viewers here in the United States? What group of people is this which would watch this? Well, we don't have to go very far back. That is about 30 years ago. There were 3 dominant figures. One was Patrick Buchanan. You probably remember that name if you're old enough. Patrick Buchanan has become sort of the godfather of the alt-right movement, of the social conservatives here in the United States. And he told them back in the late 80s, early 90s, when the Soviet Union collapsed, is that he believed that the Russian Russian Orthodox Church is going to guide the United States to a Christian country. That's something to that tune. So now we have that spiritual thing, and then you had Wolferwitz, if you remember him, and Libby Scooter. These 2 guys with Buchanan, who formed this entire alt-right social conservative viewership, interested in Russia as the savior of the American religious or Christian communities. And these are the people who are now absorbing everything what happens in the Russian Federation, because they cannot have an interest if the Russian Orthodox Church is going to be the savior for Christianity here in the United States. And this thing is going to collapse over there, whether through sanctions, with sanctions. And the Russian people, especially the Christian, people, Russian Orthodox people, the true believers, who are the true saviors for the United States, then they gonna have a problem. Because if that collapses, what they got now with Patrick Buchanan and Wolferwitz and Libby Scooter told these people, say like 92, 91, 92, 93, then their entire thing is going to fall apart here. So they're going to do everything, and this is the direction YouTube is going with this, because they're paying these YouTubers who specifically make their content for that audience. And they have between, say, like 50,000 to 250,000 subscribers on their channels. And they're getting an average view of anywhere from 50,000, 100,000 views per video to up to 1 million, depending a little bit with the political interest and the changes in there. But the hardcore people who are tuned in is the alt-right here in the United States, and primarily the social conservatives out of this Christian background, who believe in this, what Patrick Buchanan told them, that the Russian Orthodox is going to be the savior of the Christianity in the United States. Now, I personally believe that this is a far stretch from a lot of things, and I think that Vladimir Putin is probably as far removed from the Russian Orthodox Church, but he sure knew how to play that for quite a few decades. And that's how they had them all wrapped around. Trump is not really with this, Donald Trump, but he knew how to cater to that clientele. He did a very good job, and that's why he got nominated in 2016, and that's why he got elected president, because these people primarily were really concerned about the Supreme Court, the composition of the Supreme Court, the Supreme Court justices. That's what got Trump elected, and with the Senate guy, Mitch McConnell, who came up with the list. Then everything in the Republican Party has a list now. It's another nonsense, but that's a different story. So the list was given to Trump with the favorable people, which he put them in, which he appointed, and they got in, and now we got this pending abortion thing. I have no opinions on abortion whatsoever. I'm never going to have one. That is a decision the woman, I don't want to say woman like that, but a woman should be able to make according to their conscience. Now, I do not want to get into this whole thing, whether life, late term, early term abortions, or any of this stuff. I'm not interested in it. So, but this is basically what got Trump elected. So once he got these judges in there, they basically didn't needed him, and they needed now someone who could get other things done or not done. And the closest ally in this thing was Joe Biden for these people. So a lot of these social conservatives, rather than voting for Trump again, they voted with the mail-in ballot, and they voted for Biden. We have seen it in Pennsylvania, and we have seen it in Nebraska in the primaries. Nebraska doesn't have this mail-in ballot thing, so they knew the same night. But Trump's guy came in second. And out in Pennsylvania, it's a neck and neck by less than 1,000 votes. And here you had now these social conservatives mailing in the ballots. They do the mail-in stuff. That's the church people. And that got Trump all screwed up. So they didn't really steal the thing from him. It was the alt-right, the Christian alt-right. They were done with him because he's not a real favorable person to them, because he had 1 or 2, 3 marriages. And these people are very, Christian. They want the guy married only once, that kind of stuff. They have a lot of values in this stuff. So Trump wasn't their ideal candidate, but they looked at Trump that he would get the job done with the justices, which he did, and then they were done with him. And they went on to Biden because they figured they could get more money for their nonprofits, for their churches and that stuff out of the federal government. So these people vote very much only for those people who are going to get them what they need at that particular point. You need chief justices or justices in the Supreme Court. You go with that guy for 4 years. You're done with that. You get it done. You go on and get the next person to get you what you need then. That's pretty much how they operate. And those are the people who are now waiting to see, and they need to watch this, and they're really almost obsessed about this, of how Russia is going to go through this. And of course, they don't have much interest in delivering weapons to the Ukraine either, because the Ukraine is a sort of a threat now to this whole thing with the, the Russian Orthodox being the savior of the Christian faith here in the United States. And with that, you have a great night, and we will see on how this is all going to play out. For the battlefield news is, well, it's the northern tip there in that little thing there, and the pincer movement is coming together. But like I said before, the war ain't won until the war is won, and we still have not seen the fat lady yet. And with that, you have a great night.